Have you ever wondered what it takes to unite a nation, build wonders that defy time, and create an empire from scratch? Today, we're diving deep into the life of one of history's most formidable and controversial figures, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. His story isn't just about power, it's about ambition, brutality, and a legacy etched in stone and soil. Before he was the first emperor, he was Yingzheng, king of the state of Qin. This was the Warring States period, a time of chaos where 7 major states were locked in a constant, bloody struggle for supremacy. For over 250 years, China knew nothing but division and conflict. Imagine a world where your neighbor could be your enemy tomorrow, where alliances shifted like sand. This was the world Yingzheng was born into, and from a young age, he was determined not just to survive it, but to end it. Ascending to the throne of Qin at just 13, he was initially guided by his regent, Liu Buwei. But this young king was no one's puppet. By the age of 22, he had seized full control, exiling his own mother and her lover, and reportedly executing Liu Buwei. His message was clear: absolute power was his, and his alone. With his brilliant and ruthless legalist minister, Li Si, by his side, Yingzheng launched a series of military campaigns that would change the course of history. One by one, the other 6 states fell. Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and finally Qi. His armies were relentless, his strategies cunning. By 221 BC, the centuries of warfare were over. Yingzheng had done the unthinkable. He had conquered all of China. But conquering was the easy part. Now, he had to rule it. He declared himself Qin Shi Huang, which means the first sovereign emperor of Qin. He believed his dynasty would last for 10,000 generations. To unify his new, vast empire, Qin Shi Huang didn't just rely on military might. He standardized everything. Imagine trying to run a country where every region has its own currency, its own system of weights and measures, and even its own writing style. It would be chaos. So, he enforced a single currency, standardized weights and measures, and, most importantly, created a unified script. This meant that for the first time, people from different parts of China could communicate through writing, a crucial step in forging a common identity. He also standardized the width of cart axles to create a national road system, a sort of ancient highway network, connecting his empire and allowing his armies and officials to move swiftly. Now, let's talk about the projects, the truly massive, mind-boggling construction that defined his reign. When you think of Qin Shi Huang, you probably think of the Great Wall. While walls had been built by previous states, Qin Shi Huang connected and expanded them to create a formidable defensive line against the nomadic Xiongnu tribes from the north. This wasn't a brick-and-mortar project like the wall we see today. It was primarily made of rammed earth. But the human cost was staggering. Hundreds of thousands of laborers, including soldiers, convicts, and ordinary peasants conscripted into service, were forced to work in brutal conditions. It's said that for every foot of the wall built, a life was lost. Many who died were buried right within the wall itself, earning it the grim nickname, the longest cemetery on earth. This project, meant to protect the empire, was built on the suffering of its people, and the Great Wall was just one piece of his grand vision. He also commissioned the Lingkou Canal, an incredible feat of engineering that connected the Yangtze and Pearl River systems, facilitating transport and supply for his military campaigns in the south. He also built a network of over 4,000 miles of roads fanning out from his capital, Xianyang. Inside his imperial court, life was a display of absolute authority. The emperor was the center of the universe, the son of heaven. His word was law, and dissent was not tolerated. This led to one of the most infamous events of his reign, the burning of the books and burying of the scholars. In 213 BC, to silence criticism and enforce his legalist ideology, he ordered the burning of historical records and philosophical texts from other states. He wanted history to begin with him. A year later, it's said that he had some 460 Confucian scholars executed, buried alive for defying his decrees. He sought to control not just the present, but the past and the future as well. As he grew older, Qin Shi Huang became obsessed with one thing he couldn't conquer: death. He desperately sought the elixir of life, sending expeditions far and wide in search of immortality. He dispatched his court sorcerer, Zhu Fu, with thousands of young men and women into the eastern seas to find the mythical land of Penlai, where immortals were said to live. They never returned. The irony is that his quest for eternal life may have been what killed him. He consumed mercury pills, prescribed by his doctors who believed the toxic metal could grant immortality. Instead, it likely poisoned him, leading to his death in 10 BC while on a tour of his empire. His death was kept secret by his most trusted officials, Li Si and the chief eunuch Zhou Gao, who feared an uprising. They even placed carts of rotting fish on his carriage to mask the smell of his decomposing body as they rushed back to the capital. They forged a decree, forcing the emperor's eldest son and rightful heir, Fuzhu, to take his own life, and installed the younger, more pliable son, Hahai, as the second emperor. But Qin Shi Huang's ultimate project for immortality wasn't an elixir. It was his tomb. A tomb he began building the moment he became king. For nearly 40 years, an estimated 700,000 workers toiled to create a subterranean palace, a microcosm of his empire to rule in the afterlife. The historian Sima Jin wrote that it contained palaces, towers, and a map of his empire with rivers of flowing mercury. And guarding this silent emperor in death was an army unlike any other. Discovered by farmers in 1974, the Terracotta Army is one of the most astonishing archaeological finds in history. Thousands of life-size clay soldiers, archers, and cavalry horses, each with a unique face, were arranged in battle formation, ready to protect their emperor for eternity. This silent army is a testament to the power, organization, and incredible artistry of his dynasty, but also a stark reminder of the monumental resources and human labor he commanded. The central tomb itself remains unexcavated, a mystery waiting to be unveiled, protected by legends of deadly booby traps. So, how do we remember Qin Shi Huang? Was he a visionary unifier who laid the foundation for modern China? Or a cruel tyrant who ruled through fear and bloodshed? The truth is, he was both. He ended centuries of war and created the concept of a unified China. His standardizations in writing, currency, and law had a profound and lasting impact. But his achievements came at an immense human cost. His dynasty, which he dreamed would last 10,000 generations, collapsed just 3 years after his death, consumed by the very rebellions his cruelty had sown. His legacy is a complex tapestry of creation and destruction, ambition and paranoia. He is a figure who forces us to confront the uncomfortable question of whether the ends can ever justify the means. His story shows that even the most powerful rulers are ultimately mortal, but their legacy, for better or worse, can echo through eternity. What do you think? Was Qin Shi Huang more of a hero or a villain? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into history. See you next time.